In the heart of West Africa, something extraordinary is unfolding, quietly, but powerfully. A story that's rewriting how the world sees Africa. A land once called aid-dependent has now become the face of a new revolution, not of war or politics, but of creation. Under the leadership of President Ibrahim Traoré, Burkina Faso has launched what experts are already calling the most ambitious infrastructure project in modern African history. But here's the twist: it's not funded by foreign loans, not guided by Western consultants, not controlled by international agencies. It's a project built by Africans for Africa. They call it the Bama Canal Project, a massive irrigation system stretching more than 410 kilometers, cutting through Burkina Faso's semi-arid lands. It's designed to turn over 250,000 hectares of dry soil into fertile farmland. And it's already beginning to change everything. When the announcement first came, many doubted it. How could a small, landlocked nation, often struggling with droughts and poverty, fund a $3.8 billion project without any foreign help? But Traoré's government had an answer ready, through our own gold, our own hands, and our own people. For the first time, the nation's gold revenues were redirected, not to pay off foreign debts, but to build something that would feed its people. Every ounce of gold mined in Burkina Faso is now invested into this colossal canal. Alongside it, solar turbines will generate 65 megawatts of clean power, enough to run water pumps, villages, and even small industries. But this isn't just an engineering project. It's a message to the world that Africa can stand on its own, that it doesn't need permission to dream big. Government officials describe the canal as a symbol of self-reliance. Over 12,000 Burkinabé engineers and technicians have been working day and night. No foreign contractors, no IMF credit, no donor control. It's the first project of this scale in the region done entirely by local hands. And as the first drops of water began to flow through the canal, something changed in the air. Farmers who once relied on unpredictable rain now see rivers of hope. Children run beside the water channels, laughing. Villages that once waited for food aid are preparing to feed themselves. But here's the question the world is now asking: how did they pull it off? Because behind this transformation lies a system no one saw coming. When the first section of the canal opened, the world took notice. But what most people didn't know was that this project wasn't built overnight. It was born in silence, in secret meetings, deep beneath the sandstorms of the Sahel. President Ibrahim Traoré had one goal: to free his people from the chains of dependency. For decades, Burkina Faso had relied on imported food, borrowed money, and promises that never arrived. He wanted to change that forever. So he gathered his most trusted engineers, scientists, and local chiefs. There were no foreign consultants, no expensive Western experts. Just ordinary Burkinabé minds, bold, passionate, and ready to prove to the world that Africa doesn't need to be saved. It needs to be believed in. And then came the question that changed everything. How do we fund it? Traoré looked toward the nation's most valuable asset, gold. For years, the country's gold mines had filled the pockets of foreign corporations, while the people lived with empty hands. That end of the day, he signed the new National Resource Sovereignty Act. Every single ounce of gold extracted from Burkina Faso would now serve its people, not foreign banks. The gold would finance the canal, build power stations, and feed the construction workers. No loans, no debt, no foreign control. It was the birth of what he called the golden cycle. Gold funds the canal grows food. The food sustains the workers, and the workers mine more gold. A self-feeding loop designed to last for generations. But as the news spread, not everyone was happy. International companies saw billions slipping away. Offers came pouring in. "We'll fund the canal," they said. "We'll make it faster." But Traoré refused them all. He told his people, "If it takes 10 years, it will be our 10 years. I will not trade our dignity for speed." The people stood behind him. Farmers volunteered. Students joined as assistants. Even the army helped with transport and logistics. Satellite images soon revealed a massive transformation. Dry desert land slowly turning green. Drones captured long stretches of silver water, carving through golden sand. Experts called it impossible. But it was happening, one brick, one bucket, one heartbeat at a time. And as the walls of the canal stretched further, reaching regions where water hadn't flowed for decades, a miracle began to unfold. Entire villages that once depended on aid now began to export vegetables to neighboring countries. Burkina Faso, a nation once forgotten, was becoming a symbol of rebirth. But beneath this triumph, another question began to rise among the people. If gold could do this, what else could it change? And what secret plan was Traore working on next? While the world debated his courage, Traore was building something far more powerful: independence through innovation. For decades, foreign corporations mined Burkina Faso's gold and left its people in poverty. So, Traore signed the National Resource Sovereignty Act, declaring that every ounce of gold would now serve the nation, not foreign banks. From that moment, Burkina Faso began funding its own development. No loans, no debt, no foreign advisors. He called it the Golden Cycle. Gold would fund agriculture. Agriculture would feed the workers. The workers would strengthen the economy, and that economy would mine more gold. A self-sustaining loop, a future written in gold. Then came the Burkina Canal Project, a massive infrastructure dream connecting the heart of the Sahel to fertile lands once considered barren. Experts said it couldn't be done. They said the desert would swallow the dream. But Traore's people didn't give up. Farmers worked side by side with soldiers. Students became surveyors. Villagers donated labor instead of money. Months later, satellite images showed something unbelievable. The desert was turning green. Foreign analysts called it impossible. But it was happening, one bucket, one wall, one dream at a time. When journalists asked how he managed it without Western support, Traore smiled and said, "We didn't need their money. We just needed our pride." And that pride was spreading. Across Africa, leaders began discussing the Sahel model, a new way forward, where nations use their own resources to build their future. But as the movement grew, so did the pressure. Powerful nations began watching closely. Some called him dangerous. Others called him a hero. And the question the world began to ask was simple. Could this one man change Africa forever?